Welcome to United Talks podcast, where we break down everything as it relates to Manchester United. And we have an exclusive from David Ornstein, where he states that Manchester United have made an improved bid to sign Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. A new offer for the 26-year-old forward is worth around £65 million fixed, plus £5 million in add-ons. And that MUFC are waiting for Brentford FC to respond as they work to close the deal for the Cameroon international and top target. And that's basically according to the Athletics FC, the Athletics FC, the Athletic FC, and that's the website. And basically, David Ornstein has dropped it, and we can actually see that Man United have actually gone all in. So it's kind of like give or take, or like give it or leave it, or something. And I have my thoughts about this deal. I have my thoughts about what we think. I was even trying to read the comments of how to gauge how Manchester United fans Manchester United fans feel about the deal. First comment I saw was that one was excited. Austin Bomber, best winger in EPL, is coming. Others says Ineos are mad, and the other says, oh, that's 150 million on two players who won't even break into Arsenal's bench. And that's basically, this is a troll. 70 million from Mbeumo, that's according to a top Arsenal content creator. And then Igal says 70 million for Mbeumo. Man United tax is real, basically. And Mbeumo will still reject Man United. He wants to win trophies, so obviously he's got his eyes on elsewhere. But that's not even an Mbeumo thing. But we're not going to analyze comments, but we're seeing, bombers, we're seeing people excited. A lot of people wanted this deal to go through, but the truth is, I said in my last video, that you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't. If we're paying 70 million for this guy, everybody's going to focus on that 70 million, right? Everybody's going to focus on the fact that we spent 70 million on Bryan Mbeumo. If he has a good season, fine, 70 million worth it. If he doesn't have a good season, then it will be like, 70 million wasted. They'll all focus on the 70 million. In fact, they're going to even expand it and increase it to, we signed him for 90 million euros, or the media is going to increase it and say we signed him for something, what million dollars. We signed, what's his name? Matheus Cunha for 62.5 million, and we signed Bryan Mbeumo for 70 million. And everybody's going to say, we're just spending 150 million on two players who wouldn't even do this, who wouldn't even do that, and all of that. Rival fans are going to milk it. The media is going to milk it. So, assuming Mbeumo has just one bad game, everybody's going to climb on that or ride on it. The truth is, Manchester United is a very big club compared to Brentford. But Mbeumo has put in good numbers, no doubt, right? And then if we don't pay, they'll say, Man United have been dragging, we're trying to drag, we're doing this, we're doing that. We paid the 70 million. They say, we're becoming like the old guys. We're becoming like the Glazers, who would not even bother negotiating further. They'll start with, there's this one where, they start with, this player is worth, Man United raised the player as worth, for example, Antony, worth £25 million. And then, boom, next thing, we say, we want to bid, and then United tax, they say, no, this player is £50 million. And we start to negotiate, and they say, no, we want £70 million. And before you know it, they say, we want £80 million. And Man United will say, we'll put 50, and then they say no, we want 80. We say we'll put 50.5 and 55. They'll say no, we want 80. We'll put 60 plus 10 million in add-ons. No, we want 80. We'll put 75 plus 10 million in add-ons. Then the deal is struck. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't actually make sense. It's really hard. So imagine spending a whole summer. This is a Chelsea fan, spending a whole summer negotiating to get deal under 80 million, only to mess yourself up at Newcastle, potentially buying Wissa and paying 10 million more than the asking price. So it's crazy. But at the end of the day, I will blame Brentford for this, because they are putting unnecessary pressure, undue pressure on the player, Bryan Mbeumo. Because the truth is, if we sign him and we signed him at the 62.5 or whatever, plus add-ons and all of that, that puts less pressure on him, and we'll know he's a marquee signing, a star player, added to Cunha, they'll both shine. But now we're signing him, and there's pressure already, because the deal has dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. And then the moment he has a bad game, everybody's going to climb on his back. So I don't know what you guys think. For me, I feel like, the deal, we should have walked away from the deal. either we should have walked away or played the waiting game, because the media are still going to milk it. The media that was still saying, oh, this thing has dragged long and all of that. I listened to Simon Jordan on TalkSport the other day, and he said that, oh, Man United should play the waiting game, because that way it creates an opportunity for Mbeumo, who has said he wants to move, to actually move eventually. But then Man United want to get the deal done because they want him to be ready for preseason, and they'll be traveling for preseason, I think, by tomorrow or next, and Man United want the deal done by then. So it's I don't know, it's a very interesting one to look at. And then, we could go on and on talking about how he fits, but I'm sure that the moment Man United sign him, I'm definitely going to do a player profile on him, right? Basically, I'm definitely going to do a player profile on him. Now, according to the Athletics website, Man United have stepped up their efforts to sign Bryan Mbeumo by making an improved offer to Brentford for the Cameroon international forward. Latest proposal is worth 65 million plus 5 million add-ons and are awaiting a response from the London club. The Athletic reported last month that Bryan Mbeumo had informed Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur of his decision to sign for Manchester United, and if he makes a transfer this summer. United saw an initial proposal for 5 plus 10 million add-ons from Mbeumo turned down before an improved offer for 5.7.5, that's 55 million pounds plus 7.5 million add-ons also rejected. Now, Brentford have been aiming to receive a figure exceeding 62.5 million United paid for Wolverhampton Wanderers to sign Mateusz Cunha this summer. And the truth is, the Wolverhampton Wanderers deal, the thing that they seem to always want to ignore is the fact that the Wolverhampton Wanderers deal was a release clause that was activated. Now they want to put Mbeumo on par, and that will now bring a lot of comparison and all of that. It's good that we have one of the two best players in Premier League last season in our squad. Well, we would have them, but eventually, it's heartbreaking. Now, furthermore, Brentford have been aiming to receive a figure exceeding 62.5 million United paid for Mateusz Cunha this summer, and talks have continued as United attempt to find a compromise. The Athletic first reporting on June 2nd that Mbeumo wants to join the club, and then 25-year-old is entering the final year of his contract at Brentford, which makes it even easier for Man United to actually negotiate a deal. If not, we'll say, okay, we'll wait, right? And then another thing that threw a spanner in the works is the rumor of the Tottenham Hotspur bidding 70 million for Bryan Mbeumo, right? But it is what it is. Brentford, who have and then another reason why they might also think that they have the upper hand is because they have an option to extend the terms by a further 12 months, right? Now, the admiration for Mbeumo as Spurs also increased after Thomas Frank moved, from Brentford to become the new head coach, but he notified Tottenham that Brentford that he should should he depart the GTEC Community Stadium now, it will be for Old Trafford, and that's what Mbeumo said. Mbeumo, who joined Brentford from French side Troyes in 2029, scored 20 goals and provided 8 assists at Brentford as Brentford finished 10th in the Premier League last season. So yeah, it's a big deal, but we're gonna discuss later about how Mbeumo fits the Amorim system, and then we'll break it down. I think I've seen another article by Kalanka who talks about that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section about this one. I know that Man United, it will take up, it will make Man United score more goals next season, because one thing we lacked last season was, goals. We considered more, but we scored less. That's the problem. Scored over, mid-40s, But let's see how that goes, and we'll build from there. But thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We keep growing. We keep evolving. We keep growing as a community. And thank you so much for all your comments, your kind comments, and all of that. I saw a comment from Eddie who talked about the Stratford Paddock shirt I wore yesterday. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Eddie, and I appreciate all the comments that you guys have been sending. I don't take it for granted. We've started this from scratch, and we've gotten to this point, and I appreciate you all for helping us grow. I'll see you on the next one, and if any news comes up, we'll break it to you. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as relates to Manchester United. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.